Hello, ma'am. Good morning. So, in my second laboratory exam, I did take scenario 1, which is person is the superclass of both professor and student, create setters and getters for the student and professor, and create enrollment class to implement student class. This is the sample below. These are the attributes and the methods of the superclass and subclasses. As you can see in the sample output and my output, I did the student information, the tuition fee details, and I also added professor's information. Okay, now let's see how did I do my code, my output. So we all know that we have the superclass and subclasses, and we use an OOP technique called inheritance, which is able to inherit the one class from another class. Polymorphism uses the methods to perform different tasks. This allows us to perform a single action in different ways. Encapsulation. In encapsulation, the variables of a class will be hidden from the other class and can be accessed only through the methods of the current class. As you can see, the subclass student inherits these attributes from the superclass person. And also the subclass professor inherits these attributes and methods from the student, subclass student. So to inherit from a class, we need to use the keyword extends from one class to another. So the child or subclass can inherit from the superclass or the parent superclass person. So in this program we use overriding method and the set and get method from the encapsulation technique. If the subclass or child class has the same method as declared in the parent class, it is known as method overriding. So the example of it like this, void set birth date, then its argument, setters and getters. Then as you can see, the parent, the child has the same method as the parent. So it's called method overriding. Then setters and getters. Setters object method to encapsulated variables. We use void and method name followed by the arguments inside here. Whatever the value of the variable will be stored in the value of the global variable to make it editable. Example of this is this set full name. If you go to the main method, we can set the full name here. My name, Jefferson Lee Melendez Sarliga. So getters object method to get encapsulated variables. Getters is used to access or display the variables that are secured. We use getter. So we use getter to display or access the variables inside like this. If you set the full name, then you use the getters to access it or display. And you can see in here that we use the getters to access the student info, the tuition, and the professor info. Here in this superclass, we have the constructors, a method that is used to initialize objects. This is an explicit constructor, the same name as the class but without arguments inside. This is an implicit constructor. That has arguments used to determine the arguments inside the constructor. After setting all the OOP and the concepts, principles, and method techniques, we set up the enrollment class details and display the program using the JOption option pane, and use JText area to display plain text. This program has so many setters and getters. I did copy it only here in the example, the UML, and arrange it individually. This is the formula for the called age, the tuition. Tuition equals units earned times per unit, miscellaneous. Then in the professor, I did write all this in addition. Computer programming, string to get professor. Then I did copy the main method and call all the and call all that I have set to copy the sample output. Like here in my name, set full name. Here in the superclass, here, set the full name, first name, middle name, last name. Then call it in the main method. Then edit it. Next is the birth date. Here, you can see a method. Its argument. Then I did use the set and get. Set my birthday to January 2001. Then set and get the birth date. Then call it in here, main method. This is so it's easy for us to know when the program is arranged one by one. Then lately call it in the main method and design it so that it will look like the same as the sample output. This is for my second exam. That's all for my program, ma'am. Thank you.